The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as Princess Lyrith of the Valorian Empire raised one trembling finger toward the human delegation. Every eye in the vast crystalline hall turned to follow her gesture, landing on Liam Chen, an unremarkable maintenance technician who had only tagged along to fix a broken translator unit. Him, the princess whispered, her voice barely audible despite the chamber's perfect acoustics. I want him. Liam's jaw dropped. Around him, the other human diplomats exchanged bewildered glances. The Valorians, a warrior race standing nearly 8 feet tall with obsidian-black exoskeletons and 4 muscular arms, erupted into shocked murmurs. Their princess, known throughout the galaxy as the weakest and most timid member of their species, had just made an unprecedented demand. Commander Z, the princess's chief guardian, stepped forward with thunderous footsteps. Your Highness, this human is not even part of their diplomatic corps. He is a laborer. Princess Lyrith flinched at her guardian's booming voice but held her ground, her mandibles clicking nervously. I have made my choice. The ancient rites demand that I select my champion for the trial of ascension. I choose him. Eva Rodriguez, the human mission commander, moved protectively toward Liam. With all due respect, Princess Liam isn't a soldier. He's an engineer. Surely there's been some misunderstanding. The princess's bioluminescent eyes dimmed with what might have been sadness. There is no misunderstanding. Your species is young, yes. Weak by our standards, certainly. But I have studied humans extensively. She pulled out a data tablet with shaking hands. I have watched your historical archives. I have seen how your weakest overcome your strongest through ingenuity. How your kind survives not through power, but through adaptation. Liam finally found his voice. Your Highness, what exactly is this trial of ascension? The Valorian council leader, a scarred veteran named General Mortok, spoke with barely concealed contempt. It is the sacred ritual by which our royal heirs prove their worthiness to rule. The princess must venture into the crimson wastes of our homeworld, and retrieve the eternal flame from the Temple of First Warriors. She may bring one champion to assist her. Traditionally, Zarketh added coldly, princesses choose the most fearsome warrior in the Empire. Princess Lyrith has chosen a human mechanic. Eva pulled Liam aside. You don't have to do this. We can file a diplomatic protest, claim interference with human sovereignty. No. Liam surprised himself with the firmness in his voice. He looked at the princess, who stood small and hunched among her towering kinsmen, and saw something familiar in her posture, the look of someone always underestimated, always dismissed. No, I'll do it. The princess's eyes brightened with hope for the first time. 3 days later, Liam and Princess Lyrith stood at the edge of the crimson wastes. The landscape stretched before them like a nightmare rendered in rust and blood. Jagged crystal formations that hummed with lethal frequencies, pools of acid that bubbled ominously, and somewhere in the distance, the ancient temple that was their destination. I apologize, Lyrith said quietly as they began their trek. I have condemned you to probable death because of my selfishness. Liam adjusted the environmental suit the Valorians had begrudgingly provided. Why did you choose me, really? The princess was silent for a long moment as they navigated around a field of razor-sharp obsidian shards. Because I am weak, Liam Chen. By every measure my people value, I am a failure. I cannot defeat enemies in single combat. I freeze in terror when faced with confrontation. I will never be the warrior queen they expect. So why not abdicate? Let someone else rule. Because I have seen what warrior kings create unless war conquered people's ground beneath our boots. An empire built on fear and violence. Her voice grew stronger. I have studied other civilizations, including yours. Humans have built wonders not through strength, but through cooperation, innovation, compassion. These are the values I wish to bring to my people. But first, I must prove myself worthy. A bone-chilling roar echoed across the wastes. From behind a crystalline ridge emerged a dread serpenter, massive predator native to the crimson wastes. With armored scales and jaws that could bite through starship hull plating, Lyrith froze, just as she'd admitted she would. But Liam's mind was already racing. He grabbed the princess's arm. The crystals, they're humming at different frequencies, right? Can Valorians hear ultrasonic ranges? Why, yes. But that thing's covered in sensory organs. Trust me. As the serpent charged, Liam pulled out his maintenance multi-tool and fired a cutting laser at the largest crystal formation. The beam struck at precisely the right angle, and the crystal shattered, but not before amplifying and redirecting its harmonic frequency directly at the serpent. The creature recoiled, writhing in agony as the ultrasonic blast overwhelmed its senses. It retreated back into the wastes, leaving them unharmed. Lyrith stared at Liam in wonder. You You weaponize the environment itself. Humans aren't the strongest or the fastest, Liam said with a slight smile, but we're pretty good at working with what we've got. They continued onward, and with each obstacle, treacherous terrain, environmental hazards, predatory creatures, Liam found solutions that didn't require brute force. He jury-rigged a thermal regulator to cross fields of volcanic glass. He reprogrammed their beacon to disrupt the hunting patterns of acid-spitting beetles. He even taught the princess how to read the subtle patterns in the crystal formations to navigate safely. And somewhere along the journey, Lirath stopped freezing. She began suggesting ideas, pointing out hazards, using her knowledge of Valorian biology and geology to complement Liam's human ingenuity. When they finally reached the Temple of First Warriors, they found it guarded not by monsters, but by an ancient AI defense system that demanded the challenger prove their worth through combat trials. I cannot defeat this, Lirath said, but there was no despair in her voice anymore. So we will not try. Instead, she did something no Valorian heir had ever done. She negotiated. Using historical records Liam helped her access from his mother tool. She argued that the ancient warriors who built this temple valued wisdom as much as strength. She offered the AI a deal rather than destroying them in combat. Test their worthiness through problem solving, through proving they could protect their people through means other than violence. The AI, having waited millennia for someone to question its programming, agreed. When Liam and Princess Lyrith emerged from the Crimson Wastes carrying the eternal flame, the Valorian Empire would never be the same. The weakest princess had completed the trial, and in doing so, had proven that strength came in forms her people had never considered, and standing beside her, smiling despite his exhaustion, was the human who had shown her that being underestimated was just another kind of advantage if you were clever enough to use it.